I watched him fall to his knees in the rain. Marcus Chun, my ex-husband, the man who once told me I was nothing. He was crying, begging. His expensive suit soaked through, his face twisted in agony. "Please, Clara," he sobbed.
Please.
"I've lost everything.
My job.
My wife. My home. I have nothing left. Please help me." I stood there under my umbrella, looking down at him. 5 years ago, our positions were reversed. 5 years ago, I was the one on the ground, broken and begging. He'd walked away without looking back. Now, as the rain poured down and he reached for my hand, I had a choice to make. And you know what? I made it. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me take you back. Back to the beginning. Back to the moment that changed everything. It started with a wedding invitation. Before we dive into this powerful story, I need to ask you for something. If you're watching this and you're not subscribed yet, please hit that subscribe button right now. It's free. It takes 1 second, and it helps this channel grow, so we can keep bringing you these amazing, life-changing stories. And while you're at it, smash that like button. Let me know where you are watching from. Now, before we continue, let me say a quick prayer for everyone listening. Dear Lord, bless everyone watching this video today. Whatever struggles they're facing, whatever pain they're carrying, give them strength. Remind them that they are never alone, that they are worthy, and that their story isn't over. Help them see that every setback is a setup for a comeback. In Jesus' name, amen.
All right, family.
Let's get into the story. Trust me, you're going to want to hear every single word. I stared at the ivory envelope in my hands. My assistant Jennifer had brought it up to my office with my other mail, not knowing what it was. She wouldn't. She didn't know about Marcus. Nobody in my life now knew about that chapter. I'd buried it, moved on, built something incredible from the ashes. But this envelope, this brought it all back. You are cordially invited to the wedding of Marcus Chun and Victoria Ashford. My hands didn't shake. Not anymore. I was past that. Past him. But then I turned it over and saw the handwritten note. "Clara, I know we ended badly. But I've moved on and I hope you have too. I want to show you there are no hard feelings. Come to my wedding. See how well I'm doing. Maybe it will give you hope that you can find happiness too someday. Marcus." I read it twice. 3 times. Then I laughed. The sound echoed in my penthouse office. The office with floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the city. The office in the building I owned. Hope that I could find happiness someday? Oh, Marcus had no idea. Mommy? I turned to see Lily standing in the doorway of my office. My baby girl. Well, not a baby anymore, she was 5 now. Behind her were her brothers, Jake and Ben. My triplets. My whole world. Yes, sweetheart. You're laughing. What's funny? I looked at the invitation again. At Marcus's pitiful note. At his attempt to seem magnanimous while really trying to rub his success in my face. Just something silly, baby. Don't worry about it. But I was worrying about it. Not because it hurt. But because something inside me, something I thought I'd buried, wanted him to know. Wanted him to see what he'd thrown away. Wanted him to understand the biggest mistake of his life. Jennifer came back in. "Everything okay? You looked upset when you opened that envelope." I handed it to her. She read it. Her face went through several emotions. Confusion. Recognition. Anger. "This is from him? From your ex. The one and only. And he has the nerve to." She read the note again. "This is disgusting, Clara. He's trying to make you feel small." "I know. So you're going to ignore it, right? Throw it away and forget he exists." I thought about that. Really thought about it. 5 years ago, Marcus destroyed me. He left me pregnant, broke, and alone. He called me useless. Said I'd never amount to anything. He was wrong. So incredibly wrong. And suddenly I wanted him to know that. Wanted him to see it with his own eyes. "No," I said slowly. "I'm going to go."
What?
"Why would you?"
Because he needs to see something, I said.
He needs to see exactly what he threw away, what he lost, what he'll never have. Jennifer looked worried. "Clara, I don't think this is a good idea." What if it brings up bad memories? What if?
It won't, I said.
Because I'm not that person anymore. I'm not the broken girl he left behind. I'm someone completely different. And it's time Marcus Chun learned that. I looked at my children, my beautiful, brilliant babies who looked just like me. Thank God they didn't get his features. They were the best thing that ever came from that nightmare. They were my motivation, my purpose, my everything. We're going to a wedding, kids, I announced. Really? Jake's eyes lit up. I've never been to a wedding. Is there cake? Ben asked. Lots of cake, I promised. Lily looked thoughtful. Whose wedding is it? Someone from Mommy's past, I said. Someone who needs to learn an important lesson. And he was going to learn it. Oh yes. Marcus Chun was going to learn exactly what happens when you underestimate someone. When you throw away something precious because you're too blind to see its value. He thought he was inviting me to watch him win. He had no idea he was inviting me to show him everything he'd lost. But before I tell you about the wedding, you need to understand where I came from. You need to see how far I fell, so you can appreciate how high I climbed. 5 years ago, I was Clara Mitchell, 26 years old, waitressing at a diner, married to Marcus Chun, who worked a dead-end office job and complained about it every single day. We were poor, really poor. Our apartment was tiny, falling apart. The ceiling leaked. The neighbors screamed at each other every night. We could barely make rent. But I loved him. God help me, I loved that man with everything I had. I worked double shifts, came home exhausted, feet bleeding, back aching. And I'd still cook for him, still clean, still try to make him happy. It was never enough. He'd look at me with disappointment. Is this all we're ever going to be, Clara? Poor? Struggling? We'll figure it out, I'd say. Together. But he didn't want together. He wanted more. And he blamed me for not having it. Then I got pregnant. I found out on a Tuesday.
I was so scared to tell him. We could barely feed ourselves.
How would we afford a baby? But I was also excited. A baby. Our baby. Maybe it would bring us closer. Maybe it would give us purpose. I was so stupid. That night, I made his favorite dinner. Set the table nice. Even bought a little pair of baby shoes to surprise him with. Marcus, I said as we sat down. I have something to tell you. He barely looked up from his phone.
What?
I'm pregnant. The fork fell from his hand. Clattered on the plate. He stared at me. You're what? Pregnant, I said again, my voice smaller now. I know it's not perfect timing, but… Perfect timing? He stood up so fast his chair fell backward. Clara, are you insane? We can't afford a baby.
People do it all the time.
We'll.
No.
His voice was cold.
Hard.
No, we won't. My heart stopped. What do you mean? I mean I don't want it. Get rid of it. The words hung in the air. Heavy. Horrible. Marcus, you don't mean that. I do. He ran his hands through his hair. Clara, I've been unhappy for a long time. This life, it's not what I want. What are you saying?
He looked at me then.
Really looked at me. And what I saw in his eyes broke something inside me.
Disgust.
He was disgusted by me. I'm saying I'm done, he said. I've been seeing someone else. Someone who has her life together. Someone successful. The room spun. I grabbed the table to steady myself. You're having an affair?
Yes.
Victoria Ashford. Her father owns a company. She's educated. Ambitious. Everything you're not. Each word was a knife. But I'm pregnant, I whispered. I'm carrying your baby. Then get rid of it like I said. Because I'm leaving. Tonight. He was already moving. Already pulling his suitcase from the closet. Already packing. I slid down the wall, my legs giving out. Please don't do this. Please. I love you.
He stopped. Turned.
Looked at me sitting there on the floor, tears streaming down my face. You want to know the truth, Clara? You're useless. You've always been useless. You're not smart enough to be anything more than a waitress. You're not pretty enough to do better than me. You will never amount to anything. I couldn't breathe.
Couldn't speak.
That baby? He gestured at my stomach. If you keep it, you'll raise it alone. Don't expect a dime from me. Don't expect anything. As far as I'm concerned, it's not mine. How can you say that? How can you? Because it's true. He zipped up his suitcase. Goodbye, Clara.
Have a nice life.
Though I doubt it'll be much of one. The door slammed, and he was gone. I sat on that floor for hours. Maybe days. I don't even remember. I cried until there was nothing left. Until my body was hollow. Until I wanted to disappear. My phone buzzed. A text from the landlord. Rent was overdue. Again. I checked my bank account. $273. That was it. That was all I had in the world. No family. They'd all died years before. No close friends. I'd isolated myself trying to make Marcus happy. No support system. Just me. Alone. Pregnant.
Broke.
Destroyed. That night, I thought about ending it.
Really thought about it.
But then something happened. Something small. Barely noticeable. The baby moved. Just a little flutter. So small I almost missed it. And suddenly, I wasn't alone anymore. I had someone depending on me. Someone who needed me to survive. To fight.
To keep going.
I put my hand on my stomach.
I'm sorry, you whispered.
I'm sorry your father is a monster. But I promise you, I will love you enough for both of us. I will give you everything I have. I will become someone you can be proud of. That was the night I decided to live. More than that.
To thrive.
To prove Marcus Chin wrong in every possible way. The next morning, I dragged myself to the hospital for my first prenatal appointment. The doctor did an ultrasound. I watched the screen, expecting to see one little heartbeat. I saw 3. Congratulations, the doctor said with a smile. You're having triplets. Triplets. 3 babies. 3 mouths to feed. 3 lives depending on me. I should have panicked. Should have broken down right there. Instead, something clicked inside me. 3 reasons to fight. 3 people who would love me unconditionally. 3 purposes for my life. Okay, I said out loud. Okay, we can do this. The doctor looked concerned. Do you have support? A partner? Family? No, I said. But I have myself. And I'm going to be enough. I worked every shift I could at the diner. Morning, afternoon, night. My feet swelled so bad, I could barely walk. My back screamed in pain. But I kept going. I started reading. Every book I could find at the library about business, about success, about building something from nothing. One of my regular customers was an older woman named Margaret. She came in every Tuesday for coffee and pie. She always left big tips. Always asked how I was doing. Really asked, not just small talk. One day, 7 months pregnant and exhausted, I broke down in front of her. I'm sorry, I said, wiping my eyes. I'm just so tired.
Sit down, honey, she said.
Talk to me. So I did. I told her everything. About Marcus. About the babies. About being alone. She listened. Really listened. When I finished, she pulled out a business card. This is my son's company, she said. He needs someone to help with administrative work. You can work from home after the babies come. It's not glamorous, but it pays better than this place. Why would you help me? I asked. Because someone helped me once when I was exactly where you are, she said. And because I see something in you. You're a fighter, Clara. Don't waste that. I took the job. Started immediately. Learned everything I could. The triplets came on a cold February night. Jake, then Lily, then Ben. Each one tiny, perfect, beautiful. I was alone in that delivery room. No husband. No family. Just me and the nurses. But when they put those 3 babies in my arms, I wasn't sad. I was determined. We're going to make it, I whispered to them. I promise you. We're going to do more than make it. We're going to win. The first year was hell. I won't lie to you. 3 babies. All needing everything at the same time. Diapers, bottles, attention. I worked during their naps. Worked after they slept. Sometimes worked all night with one baby on my lap. But I was good at the work. Really good. I saw patterns, inefficiencies, ways to make things better. I started making suggestions to Tom, Margaret's son. At first, he ignored me. I was just the admin girl, right? But I kept at it. Created presentations. Showed him numbers. Proved my ideas worked. Finally, he listened. Implemented one of my suggestions. It saved the company $50,000 in the first month.
He promoted me.
Then promoted me again. But I wanted more. I caught the bug. I saw possibilities everywhere. I started investing. Small amounts at first.
Stocks.
Crypto before it exploded. Real estate when I could afford it. I studied everything.
Markets.
Business. How money really worked. The triplets were my motivation. Every time I wanted to quit, I looked at their faces and kept going. 3 years after Marcus left, I had enough saved to start my own consulting firm. I helped businesses cut costs, increase efficiency, maximize profits. I was brilliant at it. Companies started seeking me out. My reputation grew. My bank account grew. For years after Marcus left, I bought my first office building. Hired my first employees. 5 years after Marcus left, I was worth $10 million. Then $50 million. Then $100 million. I'd built an empire. From nothing. From less than nothing. And through it all, I raised 3 incredible kids. By myself. Jake was brilliant. Already reading at a college level at age 5. Lily was kind. Always helping other kids. Always thinking of others. Ben was creative. Built things, imagined things, saw the world differently. They were perfect. My whole world. I never dated. Never looked at another man. Marcus had broken something in me that never fully healed. But I didn't need a man. I had my babies. I had my business. I had everything I needed. And then that wedding invitation arrived. I spent 2 weeks preparing for that wedding. This wasn't just about showing up. This was about making a statement.
À la style impression.
I bought a custom dress. Deep emerald green, perfectly tailored, elegant and powerful. It cost $30,000. I had my hair and makeup done by the best stylists in the city. I rented a Bentley Continental GT, black, sleek, worth $250,000. And I prepared my kids. Got them matching outfits that made them look like they'd stepped out of a fashion magazine. Jennifer still thought I was crazy. Clara, why put yourself through this? Because he needs to see, I said. He needs to understand what he threw away. You don't owe him anything. I'm not doing it for him, I said. I'm doing it for that girl he left crying on the floor 5 years ago. She deserves this moment. The morning of the wedding, I looked at myself in the mirror. I didn't recognize the woman staring back at me. She was confident, powerful, beautiful, successful. She was everything Marcus said I could never be. You ready for this? I asked my reflection. My reflection smiled back. I've been ready for 5 years. The wedding was at the Grand Plaza Hotel, the kind of place Marcus and I used to walk past and dream about. Someday, he'd say, when we have money, we'll go to places like this. Well, I had money now, lots of it, and he was about to find out. I pulled up in the Bentley. The valet's eyes went wide. I stepped out, my heels clicking on the marble. Then I helped my kids out. They looked incredible. Jake in his little suit. Ben matching. Lily in her designer dress. We walked toward the entrance, and I heard the whisper start. Who is that? Look at those children. Is she famous? That's a $250,000 car. I kept my head high, confidence in every step. Inside, the wedding was everything Marcus always wanted. Expensive flowers everywhere. Crystal chandeliers. A string quartet. He'd finally made it. Finally got the fancy wedding he always dreamed about. With someone else's money. I found my seat. Front row. Of course. He'd put me there deliberately. Wanted me to have a front row view of his happiness. Wanted me to see what I'd lost. Oh, Marcus. If you only knew. The ceremony started. Victoria walked down the aisle. She was pretty. Blonde. Polished from money. Everything Marcus wanted. But as I watched him at the altar, I felt nothing. No pain. No anger. Nothing. He was a stranger to me now. Then his eyes found me. And I watched his face change. Confusion first. He squinted, like he couldn't quite believe what he was seeing. Then recognition. His eyes went wide. Then shock. Complete, total shock. His mouth literally fell open. I smiled. Not a friendly smile. The smile of someone who knows exactly what's about to happen. Throughout the ceremony, Marcus kept glancing at me. He stumbled over his vows.
Twice.
His hands shook when he put the ring on Victoria's finger. Good. When they were pronounced husband and wife, everyone clapped. I clapped too. Slow. Deliberate. My eyes never leaving his face. He looked terrified. He should be. The reception was in a massive ballroom. Round tables with white tablecloths. Centerpieces that probably cost more than our old monthly rent. I sat with the triplets, making sure they had food, keeping them entertained. People kept staring, whispering, "Who is she? Those kids are so well-behaved. She looks like she stepped out of a magazine." Then Marcus approached. Victoria was on his arm, looking confused. "Clara," he said, his voice uncertain. I didn't think you'd actually come." I smiled. "You invited me. It would have been rude not to." He stared at my dress, at my jewelry, at the kids. "You look different." "Do I?" I tilted my head. "I suppose 5 years will do that." Victoria was studying me. "Marcus, who is this?" "An old friend," I said before he could answer. "From before Marcus became successful. Back when he was just starting out." "How nice that you stayed in touch," Victoria said, though her eyes were cold. "Isn't it?" I agreed. Marcus couldn't stop staring at the kids. I saw him counting. Saw his face go pale. "How old are they?" he asked quietly. 5, I said, watching him do the math. "Clara, are they?" "Nothing to do with you," I interrupted. "You made that very clear 5 years ago, remember? These are my children. Mine alone." An awkward silence fell. "Well," Marcus said finally, "I'm glad you came. I wanted you to see that I'm doing well, that I've moved on. I hope you have too." "Oh, I have," I assured him. "Trust me." "So, what do you do now?" Victoria asked. "For work, I mean. Marcus said you used to be a waitress." "I was," I said. "But things change. People grow. Opportunities arise." "So you're?" "I manage a few things," I said vaguely. "Keep myself busy." I saw relief cross Marcus's face. He thought I was still struggling. Still barely getting by. "Perfect." "That's good," he said. "That you're working. It's important to stay busy." "It is," I agreed. "Very important." They walked away. I heard Victoria whisper, "She seems nice." I can see why you felt sorry for her. Sorry for me. Oh, this was going to be delicious. An hour into the reception, the main doors opened. A security team walked in. 6 men in black suits. Professional. Intimidating. And in the middle of them was Richard Morrison, CEO of Morrison Industries, one of the largest conglomerates in the country, worth approximately $3 billion. He was also my business partner, mentor, and friend. The room went silent. Everyone knew who Richard Morrison was, including Marcus, who worked in the finance department of Morrison Industries. Richard's eyes scanned the room. When he saw me, his face lit up. He walked straight toward me, his security team parting the crowd. Marcus watched from across the room, confusion on his face. "Clara," Richard said, reaching my table. "What are you doing here?" Then, in front of everyone, this billionaire CEO bowed. Actually bowed. The room gasped. Literally gasped. "Mr. Morrison," I said, standing. "What a surprise. I didn't know you'd be attending." "Business connection," he said. "But I had no idea you'd be here. And you brought these angels." He looked at the triplets. "Come here, you 3. Jake, Lily, and Ben ran to him, laughing. They loved Richard. He'd been in their lives since they were babies. I looked across the room at Marcus. His face had gone completely white. Victoria was whispering to him urgently. He was shaking his head like he couldn't believe what he was seeing. Richard straightened up, holding Lily's hand. "How do you know the groom?" he asked me. "Old acquaintance," I said. "From before." "Before what?" "Before everything." Marcus was walking over now, Victoria close behind. He looked like he might throw up. "Mr. Morrison," Marcus said, his voice shaking.
"Sir."
"I didn't know you'd be attending. I work for you, finance department." "I know who you are," Richard said coolly. "Marcus Chun, mid-level manager. Your performance reviews are adequate. Nothing special." Marcus flinched. "How do you know Clara?" Richard asked him. Marcus froze. We used to know each other. A long time ago."
"How?"
The room had gone silent. Everyone was listening. "We were friends." "Friends?" Richard looked at me. "Just friends?" "We were married," I said simply. "For 2 years. Then we divorced." The words dropped like bombs. Richard's expression hardened. "You were married to Clara?" "To my Clara? Your Clara?" Marcus repeated weakly. "Yes," Richard said. "Clara Reed. Founder and CEO of Reed Enterprises. My business partner. The woman who saved my company from bankruptcy 3 years ago. The woman who turned a $10 million investment into $200 million in 18 months. That Clara." Complete silence. Marcus stared at me. "Clara Reed? You're the CEO?" "I am. But Reed Enterprises is worth $700 million, Richard said.
"Give or take?"
"Though with the acquisitions Clara just closed, probably closer to $1 billion now." I watched all the color drain from Marcus's face. Victoria was staring at me too, her mouth open. "That's impossible," Marcus whispered. "You were nothing. You had nothing." "I was never nothing," I said quietly. "You just couldn't see beyond your own narrow, pathetic view of the world." "Wait," Victoria said suddenly. "Reed Enterprises just acquired Morrison's real estate division." "Correct," Richard said. "Which means—" Victoria looked at Marcus. "She's effectively his boss now. Several levels above him." Marcus looked like he'd been punched. "The children," he said suddenly. "They're mine. They're my kids, aren't they?" Everyone leaned in. I looked at my babies. My perfect, beautiful babies. "Biologically?" I said.
"Yes."
"You contributed DNA. But in every way that actually matters?"
"No."
"You gave up that right when you told me to get rid of them. When you called them, and me, nothing." "Clara, I was young. I was stupid." "You were cruel," I interrupted. "You were heartless. You destroyed me. And you know what? I should thank you." He looked confused. "Because you breaking me was the best thing that ever happened," I said. "You taught me that I could only rely on myself. You showed me what I was truly capable of. So thank you, Marcus. Thank you for being exactly the kind of monster I needed to become exactly the kind of woman you could never deserve." "I want to be in their lives," he said desperately. "I want to know them. They're my children."
"No."
Simple. Final. "No," he repeated. "No," I said again. "You don't get to come back now. Now that you see what I've become. Now that you realize what you threw away. They're happy. They're loved. They don't need a father who only wants them because of what their mother achieved. I have rights." "You have nothing," I said. "You signed away any rights when you abandoned us. I have the texts, the voicemails, everything where you said you wanted nothing to do with this baby. My lawyers will destroy you if you try anything." Richard stepped forward. "And just to be clear, Chen, if you cause any problems for Clara or these children, you'll be unemployed immediately. We don't keep people at Morrison Industries who harass our partners." But I wasn't done. "There's something else you should know, Marcus," I said. He looked at me, fear in his eyes. "I own 40% of Morrison Industries as of last month," I said. "Richard and I are co-owners now, which means I don't just work with your company. I partially own it." Marcus's legs actually buckled. Victoria had to catch him. "Which means I continued. Every decision about your employment goes through me now. Every raise, every promotion, every performance review. I leaned in close. You called me useless, I whispered. You said I'd never amount to anything. You threw me away like garbage.
And now?
Now I literally own you. I straightened up, smiled. Enjoy your wedding, Marcus. Enjoy your new wife, your new life. But know this. Every single day, when you go to work, you'll be working for me. The woman you destroyed. The woman you said was worthless. I gathered my children's hands. Say goodbye, kids. Goodbye, they said cheerfully. We walked toward the exit. Richard and his security team followed. Behind me, I heard Victoria's voice, sharp and angry. You were married to her? To Clara Reed? And you left her? Are you insane? Marcus's response was too quiet to hear. I didn't look back. I didn't need to. The real destruction started the next day. Victoria filed for divorce within 48 hours. I heard about it through the grapevine. Apparently, she couldn't handle being married to a man who'd thrown away a billionaire. Couldn't handle the fact that everyone at the wedding was talking about Marcus's massive mistake. Couldn't handle that her husband's ex-wife was now essentially his employer. The divorce was brutal. Victoria's lawyers tore him apart. She got the house they'd just bought together, the car, most of their wedding gifts. Marcus was left with nothing. But it got worse. See, I meant what I said about owning 40% of Morrison Industries. And I took my ownership seriously. At the next board meeting, I reviewed all department performances. The finance department is underperforming, I said, looking at the numbers. Specifically, mid-level management. There's a pattern of mediocrity, adequate work, but nothing exceptional. Nothing that justifies their current salaries. Richard looked at the reports. You're right. What do you suggest? Restructuring, I said. Cut the dead weight. Keep only the top performers. Any specific recommendations? I pretended to think. Marcus Chun. His performance reviews show consistent mediocrity. I recommend termination. Done, Richard said.
Just like that.
Marcus was fired 3 weeks after his wedding. But I still wasn't done. See, Marcus had listed Victoria's father's company as a reference when he applied to Morrison Industries. After the divorce, Victoria's father was furious at Marcus. Blamed him for the embarrassment, for his daughter's pain. He made calls, lots of calls, to everyone in their industry. Marcus Chun became unhireable. Every interview he got, every application he submitted, they all led nowhere. His reputation was destroyed. Within 2 months of his wedding, Marcus had lost his wife, his job, his home, his savings, thanks to the divorce, his reputation, his future prospects. He'd gone from feeling on top of the world to having absolutely nothing. And I watched it all happen. 3 months after the wedding, Marcus showed up at my office building.
Security called me.
Ms. Reed, there's a Marcus Chun in the lobby. Says he needs to speak with you. Send him away. We tried. He's crying, ma'am. Causing a scene. I sighed.
Fine.
I'll come down. I found him in the lobby. He looked terrible. Unshaven. Wrinkled clothes. Dark circles under his eyes. He'd lost weight. Lost everything, really. Clara, he said when he saw me.
Please.
I need to talk to you. We have nothing to discuss. Please. He was crying. Actually crying. I've lost everything.
My job.
My wife. I can't find work anywhere. I'm about to lose my apartment. I have nothing. And that concerns me how. I'm sorry, he sobbed. I'm so sorry for what I did to you. For what I said. I was wrong. I was so wrong. Yes, I agreed. You were. Please help me.
Please.
I'm begging you. Just help me get a job. Somewhere. Anywhere. I'll do anything. I looked at him. This man who once told me I was useless. Who said I'd never amount to anything. Now he was begging me for help. Do you remember what you said to me 5 years ago? I asked. He hung his head. Yes. Tell me. I want to hear you say it. Clara. Say it. He swallowed hard. I said you were useless. That you'd never amount to anything. And that the babies weren't mine. That you should get rid of them. And that you weren't smart enough. Or pretty enough. That you were just ordinary. And how do you feel now? I asked. Knowing that ordinary woman is now worth $1 billion? Knowing she raised 3 brilliant children alone? Knowing she owns the company you used to work for? I feel like an idiot, he whispered. Like the biggest fool who ever lived. Good, I said. Because you are. Will you help me? Please? I thought about it. Really thought about it. 5 years ago, he left me with nothing. Told me I was worthless. Walked away without looking back. Now our positions were reversed. No, I said simply. What? No, I won't help you. You made your choices, Marcus. You chose cruelty over kindness, money over love, status over family. Now you get to live with those choices. But I have nothing. I'm going to be homeless. Then I guess you'll understand what it feels like, I said. What it felt like for me when you left. When I was pregnant, alone, and terrified. When I had $273 to my name and 3 babies on the way. I made a mistake. You made a choice, I corrected. A deliberate, cruel choice. You didn't accidentally leave me. You didn't accidentally call me useless. You didn't accidentally tell me to get rid of our children. You chose all of that. People deserve second chances. Maybe, I said. But not from me. Not from the woman you destroyed. Find your second chance somewhere else. Clara, please. We're done here, I said. I turned to security. If Mr. Chen comes back, have him arrested for trespassing. I walked away. Behind me, I heard him calling my name. Begging. Pleading. I didn't turn around. 6 months after the wedding, I heard Marcus was living in his car. He'd lost his apartment. Couldn't find work. His parents had disowned him after hearing what he'd done to me and the children. He was alone. Broke. Desperate. Exactly like I'd been 5 years ago. One rainy evening, I was leaving my office building. The Bentley was waiting at the curb. And there he was. Marcus. Standing in the rain. Soaked through. Looking at me with hollow eyes. Clara, he said. I stopped. What are you doing here, Marcus? I told you. I know. I know. He held up his hands. I'm not here to beg anymore. I wanted to say something. Make it quick. You were right, he said. About everything. I threw away something precious. Something irreplaceable. And I did it because I was shallow and stupid and cruel. I know. I destroyed the best thing in my life because I thought money and status were all that mattered. And now I have neither. And I realized that what I really lost, what really mattered, was you. I didn't respond. Those kids, he continued, are kids. They're beautiful. I can see it even from a distance. And they're growing up without a father because of my choices. They're growing up happy, I said, which is more than they would have been with you. He flinched but nodded. You're probably right. I know I'm right. I'm not asking for forgiveness, he said. I don't deserve it. I'm not asking for money. I'm not asking for anything except for you to know that I understand now. I understand what I did, what I destroyed, and I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I looked at him, really looked at him. This man who once seemed so important, so central to my life, so powerful. Now he was nothing, just a broken, sad man standing in the rain. And I felt nothing. No satisfaction. No joy in his suffering. No sense of victory. Just nothing. I believe you're sorry, I said finally. I believe you understand what you lost. But Marcus? That changes nothing. You can be sorry for the rest of your life, and it won't undo what you did. It won't give me back the nights I cried myself to sleep. It won't erase the fear and pain and desperation you caused. I know, and more importantly, it won't give my children back the father they deserved. The father who should have been there from the beginning, who should have wanted them, who should have loved them. I do love them, he said. I know I have no right to, but you don't know them, I interrupted. You don't know that Jake wants to be a scientist, that he's already reading at a college level, that he asks questions about the universe that I have to Google to answer. Marcus's face crumpled. You don't know that Lily wants to be a teacher, that she's kind to everyone she meets, that she shares her lunch with kids who forget theirs, that she has your mother's smile. Yes, I remember your mother, even though she never met her. Tears were streaming down his face now. You don't know that Ben wants to be an astronaut, that he builds rockets out of cardboard and dreams about the stars, that he's brave and curious and sees wonder in everything. Clara, you don't know them because you chose not to, I said. And now it's too late. They have a life, a good life, a happy life, without you. And I will never let you disrupt that. I understand, he whispered. Do you? I asked. Do you really? Because here's what I want you to understand. You didn't just lose a wife when you left me. You didn't just lose money or status or success. You lost a family. You lost 3 incredible human beings who could have loved you, who could have made your life meaningful, who could have been the best thing that ever happened to you. I stepped closer. And you lost them before you ever knew them, because you were too blind, too shallow, too cruel to see what really mattered. I see it now, he said. Too late, I said. Way too late. I turned to get in the car. Clara, he called out. One last thing. I paused but didn't turn around. I hope you find happiness, he said. Real happiness. With someone who deserves you. Someone who sees your worth from the beginning. You deserve that. I looked back at him, at this broken man in the rain. I already have happiness, I said. I have 3 beautiful children. I have a business I built with my own hands. I have friends, security, success, purpose. I have everything I need. I'm glad, he said, and he sounded like he meant it. The difference between you and me, Marcus? I said. I found happiness by becoming someone better. You lost everything by staying exactly who you were. Small. Shallow. Cruel. I got in the car. As we drove away, I looked back one last time. Marcus was still standing there in the rain, watching us go, looking like he'd lost the whole world. Because he had. A year after the wedding, my company hit the $1 billion mark. Reed Enterprises was officially valued at $1.2 billion. I stood in my office, looking out at the city, and I thought about the journey. 5 years from broken and alone to billionaire CEO. 5 years from having nothing to having everything. But the money wasn't the victory. The success wasn't the victory. The victory was in my children. Jake had just won a national science competition. At 6 years old, Lily had started a kindness club at school, teaching other kids about empathy and compassion. Ben had built a working model rocket that actually launched, with help from Richard, but still, they were thriving. They were happy. They were loved. That was the victory. I heard through the grapevine that Marcus was working at a gas station now, living in a small studio apartment, barely making ends meet. Victoria had remarried. Someone wealthy. Someone successful. She'd moved on completely. And Marcus? Marcus was stuck. Alone. Poor. Exactly what he'd accused me of being. Karma, I suppose. But I didn't think about him much anymore. He was irrelevant. A footnote in my story. My real story was about what came after him. About building something from nothing. About proving that worth isn't defined by the people who can't see it. 10 years after Marcus left me, I received another letter. Not an invitation this time. Just a letter. It was from Marcus. I almost threw it away without reading it. But something made me open it. Dear Clara, I know you don't want to hear from me. I know I have no right to contact you. But I'm writing this because I'm sick. Really sick. The doctors say I have maybe 6 months. I'm not writing to ask for anything. Not money. Not forgiveness. Not a chance to meet the kids. I know I don't deserve any of that. I'm writing because I want you to know something. Every day for the past 10 years, I've thought about what I did, about what I lost, about the family I threw away. I've lived with that regret every single day. It's been my punishment. And it's been worse than anything you could have done to me. You built an incredible life. I see your company in the news. I see stories about your success. And I'm proud of you. I know I have no right to be, but I am. Those kids are kids, though I know I don't deserve to call them that. I see their pictures sometimes. Social media, news articles about your charity work. They're beautiful. They're brilliant. They're everything I could have had and threw away. I'm not asking for anything. I just wanted you to know that you were right. About everything. I was cruel. I was shallow. I was blind. And I've paid for it. Every single day. I hope you're happy. I hope the kids are happy. I hope you found everything you deserve.
I'm sorry.
For everything. Marcus. I read the letter twice. Then I folded it carefully and put it in my desk drawer. I didn't respond. I didn't visit him. I didn't tell the children.
Because it wasn't about him.
It never was. It was about me.
About them.
About the life we'd built without him. 6 months later, I heard that Marcus had passed away. Alone. In a charity hospital. No wife. No children. No family by his side. Just alone. I didn't go to the funeral. Neither did the kids, they still didn't know he existed. But I did send flowers. A simple arrangement with a card that read, "You were right about one thing. Every deed has a return date. Rest in peace." The kids are 15 now. Brilliant, kind, successful in their own ways. Jake is already taking college courses. Wants to be an astrophysicist. Lily runs multiple charity programs. Wants to change the world. Ben is an incredible artist. Sees beauty in everything. They sometimes ask about their father. I tell them the truth, age-appropriate versions. That he wasn't ready to be a parent. That he made choices he regretted.
That he's gone now.
They seem okay with that. They have me. They have each other. They have a whole community of people who love them. They don't need a ghost. Reed Enterprises is worth $3 billion now. I've expanded into technology, healthcare, renewable energy. I employ over 10,000 people. I've helped hundreds of companies grow. I've created opportunities for people who needed them. I never remarried, never dated seriously. Marcus broke something in me that never fully healed. But I'm not sad about that. I have everything I need. People ask me sometimes if I regret how things turned out with Marcus. If I wish I'd handled it differently. I tell them no. Because every choice he made, every cruel word he said, every time he broke me, it all led to this. To 3 incredible children. To a business that helps people. To a life of purpose and meaning. Marcus thought he was destroying me when he left. He thought he was moving on to something better. Instead, he set me free. Free to become who I was always meant to be. Free to build something extraordinary. Free to prove that worth doesn't come from someone else's validation. It comes from within. So yes, Marcus Chin destroyed me 10 years ago. But from that destruction, I became unstoppable. And that's the real story. Not revenge. Not getting even. But rising. Building. Becoming. Becoming someone so incredible that the person who broke you becomes irrelevant. That's the victory. If you're listening to this and you've ever been called useless, if someone ever told you that you'd never amount to anything, if someone ever made you feel small, worthless, invisible, I want you to know something. They were wrong. They were wrong about you the same way Marcus was wrong about me. Your worth isn't defined by the people who can't see it. Your potential isn't limited by the people who underestimate it. Your future isn't determined by the people who doubt it. You are capable of incredible things. Things you can't even imagine yet. But you have to believe it first. You have to fight for it. You have to refuse to let anyone else's limited vision become your reality. Marcus called me useless. He said I'd never amount to anything. He was wrong. And whoever said that to you, they're wrong too. So prove them wrong. Not for them.
For you.
Build something incredible. Become someone extraordinary. Not because you want revenge, but because you deserve to see what you're truly capable of. That's my message to you. That's the real point of this story. Every deed has a return date.
Yes.
But more importantly, every person has unlimited potential. Even when they're broken. Even when they're alone. Even when they have nothing.
Especially then.
That's when you find out what you're really made of. And I promise you, you're made of stronger stuff than you think. Now go out there and prove it. If this story touched you, if it inspired you, if it reminded you of your own worth, do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button. Like this video. Share it with someone who needs to hear it. And leave a comment telling me your story. Because I know many of you have been where I was. Many of you are fighting right now. Let's build a community of fighters. Of survivors. Of people who refuse to stay down. Until next time, remember, you're not useless. You never were. And you're capable of more than you know. God bless you all.